Well, thank you everybody for being here. My name is Alvaro Andres Alvarez Peralta. I'm from Colombia, so that's why I have a long name. I work as a biomedical informatics data scientist at Stanford Health Care. And what I want to present to you today is the work that we have been doing in our team um, called Bridging the Language Gap. Is a way to use generative models to improve the medical concept discovery in different languages. So we all share a common goal here. We want to make research accessible for everyone. But there's something else we also share here is we all here can speak English. We all speak English. That that's a great thing. That's a great tool that let us have a common language to do research. But we can easily forget that English is not the language of the whole world. 1.5 billion people worldwide speak English, but we live in an 8 billion people world. Of course, not 8 billion people wants to do research, but how many of those, if they had access to better tools in their own language, could do it and could be also uh, um, giving us their insights, their experience, and whatever they can provide to the community. We may be losing a lot there. I personally started learning English when I was 29 years old, and I really can't imagine how many academic scenarios and participations that I missed just because I didn't have the tool. Um, well, coming back to our Odyssey, we have Athena, and Athena is the cornerstone for standardized vocabularies and mapping. And it's essential for harmonizing all the data that we want to use to do our research. But Athena is English only. His interface is English only. So we start thinking, how can we make this more open for other people with other languages? And there's when we came up with idea of using language models to achieve that goal. Just a couple of examples. In Spanish, constipado could be cold or could be constipation. So that's something that can be confusing when you're doing research in Spanish. In Polish, the wall can be a heart attack or a stroke. So those scenarios are very important to take care when you are doing research in a non-English in an English tool that if you are not a native English speaker. Okay, so what we did was add an extra layer of on top of Athena to handle all this communication and disambiguation in different languages. How this specifically works? Well, there's a software tool that I'm going to show next to this slide. Um, Basically, the researcher, let's use constipation, constipado in Spanish as an example to follow this workflow, is going to enter the word constipado in their Spanish. The language model is going to go through, analyze, and think, okay, is this the only, what are the possible meanings of this word and this context, Spanish? And it's going to provide a disambiguation step to the researcher. Well, it's going to choose which meaning is about flu symptoms or is constipation in the stomach. What is the really the path that you want to do in your research? The researcher is going to choose the one that they really want to follow, and the next step is going to be that the language model is going, now that it knows the context of your query, is going to be able to give you some synonyms, different words that may help you to get the concept that you're looking for. So it generates a list of synonyms in the native language, in Spanish in this case, to the researcher. The researchers now selects the most appropriate synonym, or you can just search among those what you can just go around and search about them. The system is going to translate those synonyms into English. They're going to connect with Athena. They're going to search in Athena, then going to bring the data from Athena, translate it back in the native language of the speaker, and then present the results in the native language of the speaker. So even if it's Athena in the back end, the researchers is always using their own language. All right, so that's the theory. Just so you know, you all can access to this tool. You can use the QR code. You can go to the URL concept.discovery.replit.app, and you can try by yourself. This is totally open source. So we have, if you are interested in the code, here's the repository for the GitHub repository. All right, let's go and do a quick demo of the tool. This is the website, concept.discovery.replit. This is what you're going to see the first time you enter. By default, first time is going to start in English. But the first thing you see is an option to choose which language do you want to work with. And if you don't see the language that you want to use, you can add a new language. And the system is smart enough to generate all the information in that language that you just generated. So feel free to try this. For this example, I'm going back to the constipation example. I'm going to Spanish. As you can see, the entire UI is in Spanish. So every single element in the page is going to be in the native language. Just to give a quick idea of how this thing may look like. Oh, I guess everyone everyone is accessing right now. I'm glad. For example, if you go to Japanese, you can see all the UI is going to be Japanese. Let's go Spanish. Spanish. And I'm going to search for constipado. Constipado. Let's go search. The system is going to do the disambiguation step. Is give you options about, okay, you wrote constipado, but constipado, depending on the region that you're working and the culture you have in Spanish, may have different meanings. One could be resfriado común, which is flu, common flu, or the other one can be estreñimiento, which is in your stomach. Which one is the one you want? In this case, I'm going to say, I want to go through the common flu. That's the path. That context is passed to this synonym step. This synonym step is going to give you, well, a little bit of information on what you already are looking for. So to confirm that you're in the right path, but also some synonyms that can help you to search the right concept. So you still have your initial word if that's what you want to do, but you have other options like resfriado, which is the more appropriated word for constipation, constipado in Spanish. But you have also other options. You choose resfriado. Let's say that you choose resfriado. And yep. And then now what is this going to do is it's going to check that word, translate it into English, search in Athena, and bring back the results. Similar to what you see in Athena. As you can see, you see a table pretty similar when you have your domain, the vocabulary, is the standard concept or not, and also the concept ID, but in your native language. And finally, well, you can, if you want to continue, you can just click to the concept, and then we will go to the Athena page where you can see more. I think eventually in future iterations, this part could be also be translated, but so far we have this. So yeah, this is a simple tool, just straightforward, just search in your language, go exactly for what you want, and then you get the results directly from Athena. One more thing that we are doing here is we have a section of metrics. Why do we have a section of metrics? Because everyone at this point knows that language models are not deterministic. So this problem is there. How do we know if this is really working or not? The only way that we can have An idea is to running metrics on it and know if the people that is using it is really getting a standard concept at the end, and which are the language that are more used, stuff like that. We can learn from the users' use of the tool and improve it over time. So we have things like which are the more used languages, how many people, the usage, what are the most common terms that the people is looking for, stuff like that. And this is the search paths where we can see what the people is going in each single step, which is the most common. This will help us in the future to improve the full system and make better suggestions over time. Um, so yeah, this is what I had for today. Not without saying thank you to everyone in our team at Stanford who participated with ideas, with changes, with everything. This was not one, it was a team effort, and we're happy to have this for everyone to use.